Hey everybody, it's Aaron Norris with the Norris Group. It is Thursday, March 29th. We are taking off Good Friday in celebration of Easter and a little bit of spring break. But hey, when it comes to communicating with your tenants, what's the best way? What do they like? What do you like? That and much more as we cover the biggest headlines in real estate. Don't miss the radio show and podcast. We have Fixer Jay himself, Jay DeSima, is on the radio show, talking about how he got started in the business, the main gimmick he used way back when to buy fixer-upper properties, and how he got into education and why he loves giving back to the next generation of real estate investors. That on the radio show and podcast. Case-Shiller says home prices are still hot, with the West Coast leading the way. According to the latest S&P Case-Shiller index, prices increased 0.5% in the 3 months ending in January and 6.2% year over year. Redfin reported a 14.1% decrease on their housing demand index in February, putting it now at 110. And the National Association of Realtors reported a 3.1% increase in pending home sales in February. However, they also reported that consumers are still hesitant to buy despite becoming more confident in their economic and financial situation. Turns out that Granny Flats isn't the newest country band. It's what some think could potentially help solve the affordable housing crisis here in California and beyond. These are secondary units built on or into single-family homes, most often completely separate cottage-like structures or converted spaces that were originally a garage or basement and in some cases were unpermitted, so places like Los Angeles are trying to figure out what to do with these. According to Adam Data Solutions, there was a 63% increase in permits for these types of properties. In recent years, advocates have been pushing for cities and state governments to loosen zoning laws to make these a possibility. In California alone, 3 new zoning laws took effect in 2017 that allowed for expanded development of granny flats. Our state issued 4,352 permits in 2017, twice that of Oregon or the next highest state. The top city to live in if you want access to fresh food is New York, Philadelphia, and Miami. Shocked? I was a little bit. The list was based on the percent of cities' residents that live closer within walking distance to a grocery store or a farmer's market. New York comes in at 75%, although living in New York for 7 years, I can tell you these grocery stores are not what you would necessarily think is a grocery store. Access to food, yes. Grocery store, yeah. Debatable. Philadelphia at 64% and Miami at 57%. Data was received from WalkScore, which analyzes 48 major cities, including San Francisco and Los Angeles, and they do not have reliable data. What's interesting about this is how do they consider like Amazon now that delivery is happening in some of these areas? It's going to be interesting to see how this changes. The cities doing a better job as far as fresh access to food is Boston, Miami, and Baltimore. Lastly, food deserts or cities with the least access to healthy food were Oklahoma City, Colorado Springs, and Indianapolis. The lack of access to fresh quality food leads to higher diabetes and other diseases, so something to keep an eye on. States like California are hot and buyers are getting desperate and they're so tired of getting outbid, and because they're being outbid by all cash buyers, and so sometimes they might turn a blind eye to some glaring bad decisions when it comes to buying a property. Well, Forbes released 11 red flags that agents and buyers need to keep in mind when they're buying a property. Things like psychological stigmas, like a death on a property, structural or zoning issues. So, that addition in the back, although it looks really like a big fire hazard, it's okay. We just really want the house. Neighborhood properties like school rankings and crime rates and characteristics that affect ultimately the resale value of the property. And maybe even the lending. Getting a loan on some of these properties might be difficult. So when inventory is tight, don't let your buyers make bad mistakes. And investors, this is why we get stuff. But if you want to see the 11 red flags, check out the link in the blog article. Adam Data says medium-priced homes are not affordable for average wage earners in 68% of U.S. housing markets. 73% of markets are less affordable than a year ago, and 8 of 10 high-priced counties post negative net migration. That's the triple whammy right there. Adam Data's U.S. home affordability report says that median home prices in Q1 of 2018 were not affordable for the average wage earner in 304 out of 446 U.S. counties analyzed. So home price appreciation is just simply not keeping up to pace with wages in 370 out of the 446 counties analyzed. So you've got problems in Los Angeles County, Harris County, so the Houston area, in Texas, you got Maricopa County in the Phoenix area, and San Diego County and Orange County in California. So yikes, where are they moving to? We'll have to cover that more in another show. A recent Think Realty report offers some insights into developing channels of communication with tenants. In our instant access world where we're banking online, taking pictures of checks and sending it in, and technically you can pay your rent on Facebook these days, it's it's hard to know where to go, and they offer some insight into the process of developing the channels and then communicating with your tenants how you're going to be leveraging those channels, and those are the channels they should be using. It's not always easy. But what channels are your tenants wanting to actually use? My tenants love to text. I don't think I've received an email in well over a year. Whenever there's an issue, they just want to text. I handle it from there, and I like it as well. I don't need any more email in my email box, but I'm not connecting to my tenants on Facebook, so interested to see what channels are you using and what are the tenants wanting to use with you to communicate issues. If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat. If you're on Facebook, please don't forget to not only like the Norris Group page, but don't forget to add us to your See First list and with notifications on. Leave your comments below the video, and if we missed something, share the story on our comment sections on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll make sure to include it on our blog at thenorrisgroup.com/blog. Upcoming events on Tuesday, April 3rd, we'll be doing Life-Changing Days of a Real Estate Investor a little last minute. OC Phoebe had a cancellation, so we're going to go up there in Orange County and chat. So if you're in the area, we'd love to see you. Stay put or cash out with IVAR, the Inland Valley Association Realtors. If you're in the area and a realtor, you better get there early or you'll be standing the entire time, which is a bummer. April 19th, stay put or cash out with Pasadena Phoebe, and May 9th, stay put or cash out with OCRE Forum. For more information on hard money lending in California and Florida, check out thenorrisgroup.com under hard money. Or if you want information on passive investing with trust deeds, mortgages, and notes, check out tngtrustdeeds.com. With that, happy Easter weekend. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week.